name is Margaret Ann Windsor, and I wanted to continue. I just uploaded a video, and I have a lot of them on YouTube. If anybody needs reference on what I'm about to say, I've put it on prior YouTube and on Facebook. Oh, I've gone to the media with all of this since I started doing the book in '76 till April Fool's Day of '80 when I was force-fed antifreeze and should have died, and a fiasco ensued, and I ended up across the state line illegally back in Huntsville, Alabama, working for the district attorney, Fred Simpson, which it was very hard to do, pretend that your brain hasn't been baked, that everything's normal. I was told to not speak of it. So I'm going to go back to, I did a book on mind control. I was living at Moonraker Apartments, and Larry Flint of Hustler Magazine was brought to Lawrenceville, Georgia, and where he was in court, and he was actually shot and his attorney killed. Now, you don't see any of this in the movie, although it opened on the day that I use as my birthday. It opened here in Roanoke. I think it was about 7 openings over the country. And anyway, in January. But I was flown out to his home, and I'm using this because it gets people's attention when nothing else does. My kidnapping doesn't. But anyway, he was shot, and the person that shot him was programmed to shoot him. And in this April issue of '84, children's name I have to use, they gave me the name of a twin. Both twins were dead. The name was Peggy Ann Dempsey, and I married Childers. And what he says in the article that I know who was responsible for his shooting, and I was out of his home October of '83 during the U.S. congressional campaign. I was flown out there twice. But anyway, my point in this one is I found out a little while after then. I'd done the book in '76, and at '80 I had the antifreeze put in me, and of course I put all this on prior tapes. But my kidnapping, here's part of the kidnapping. My father's King Edward VIII, who never married Wallace Simpson. I have to give some of this, or if you don't go back and get the tape, you don't understand. He never married Wallace Simpson. An imposter married Wallace Simpson, a look-alike, and they became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. My father was married to American Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor, and my aunt is the artist Georgia O'Keefe. So my mother was Catholic, Irish, American, but that wasn't it. The British people, they weren't a part of this kidnapping. It was the Rockefellers, my kidnapping. Rockefeller's my own Uncle George VI and Elizabeth. They're illegal and should be tried as traitors. They've given away Great Britain. They're part of who I'm talking about that helped kidnap me. Joe Kennedy, the Rockefellers, Rothschilds, the New World Order, or the Illuminati, as they are called. Got many names, Freemason, Illuminati. And I was just looking. They're the ones that orchestrated my kidnapping and take down my father. So then it's the treaties. Illegal they might be, but they're in place unless they're overruled. I didn't sign them. My father didn't sign them. Elizabeth's illegal father signed them. It's when it involves a lot of things. NATO putting British at risk, because at risk, that's a cute word. It allowed the military bases to be put all over Great Britain that belonged to the United States, and using the British soldiers to fight against themselves. They kidnapped me. I'm a hostage, just like Great Britain is. So I'll let you go from there, because the treaties, Israel, all of it, NATO became, the NATO, the UN, all of it happened after then. And the cover-up, if you want to go into that, what really went on is all the alien seals on that. They also put a seal on my father, 99-year seal on his illegal takedown in my birth. I'm Victoria II, the legal heir. and I was brought here, and I found out in late '83. Now, in the book, I wrote about the Center for Disease Control and Emory University. Right now, where all of this is going on, you do not hear anybody mention anything about me. They're calling the nurse today on NBC, whistleblower. You know, what do you think I was? I told all of the things. I was called everything in the book, threatened, you name it. Told to get out of the studios, don't come here, threatened with security. They've done everything in the book. Um, so it's something that I told about the AIDS. Ebola started in '76. I don't remember telling about that. I was telling other things about Center for Disease Control in Emory. But the AIDS virus, I did link to that. And here's what I want to say. The media, CNN and all of them, well, I don't know about all of them, are saying that flights out of Africa should be banned. Don't bring it here to the United States. Well, that's exactly what's being done. The United States genetically engineered it here in the state, in the labs, Center for Disease Control, and Ebola and HIV and God knows what else, and they shipped it over to Africa. It didn't start with monkeys in Africa. Africa was part of the takeover by the United States. Now all their military are going in there and equipment like they're going to help Africa. They're the good guys, when really they started the whole mess. So I wanted to focus one other thing. I spoke about Israel becoming a nation state, whatever you want to call it, after my kidnapping. Now then, part of this whole thing, they've used my illness when I came up here. I'm allergic to chemicals. I have a immune deficient imbalance. This has nothing, by the way, when you say certain things, people want to say, if they don't want to listen to what you're saying, that that's nuts or something. I have an immune disorder. When I smell certain chemicals or fumes, it makes my immune system attack itself, and I get deathly ill. In the last years, especially since I came up here and lived on the Appalachian Trail, just to get off the side of the road where this country put me, it's been used on me. My environment has been controlled, and when you live in a house or an apartment where it's deliberately your vents, and even when I've had housekeeping, they've actually come in and soaked my bedding to where I would roll at night. And if you got law enforcement involved in all of it, there's nothing you can do. There's nowhere to go with it. I can't get an attorney, etc. But anyway, they've used it against me. If it's ever shown, like my life has been a gas chamber, the chemicals used on me. CNN, who I went to from the beginning down there, I've gone to all of the media. When I had no money and crawled almost to get to them. They had Wolf Blitzer, who's Jewish, on last night, and the program was about his Jewish roots and what happened to them. They were the gas chamber used. When I try to tell about my kidnapping and the horrific crimes on a daily basis done to me and my sons and my family, my mom and dad and my country, I'm referred to, well, that's crazy. Nobody's done that to you. Or it's a joke. That's the way it's been treated. And by the way, one of the Jews were very much a part of it here. The Rockefellers helped kidnap me. So now then, you do it to a Jew, and it's called the gas chamber. You do it to me, and it's April Fool Day. Ha ha, big joke. So I guess that's what I'm trying to get on here before this one goes off, and it's going off. So I told you about the Center for Disease Control and Mind Control being used by agencies here in my kidnapping. And now, some of this is on tapes that I made back a year ago at least. And so I didn't just start and couldn't have possibly made any of it up, and everybody knows it. They knew I told the truth. Nobody doubted one word of it. And yet here I sit. I'm going to have to move today, and I quote the